In today's episode of Super Boring Video, we're going to do a software upgrade. We're going to spend about 30 minutes of wasted time designing the door for the kiln, and we're going to go out and completely change our plans and do a willy-nilly setup. And once we get that figured out, we're going to push the software. We're going to go ahead and remove those resistors and jumper, and then we're going to come back in here and see if the data changes. After a quick conversation with my good buddy, we decided we were going to add in these features. Lots of copy paste, figuring it out, talking, asking questions, and ended up adding a little bit more there toward the end. And now we have a software that's working. We ended up with a software revision that will let us change several different variables within the moisture content sensor code. That'll allow us to do a little bit of troubleshooting and change a few thresholds, like throw away the first few reads and then longer times, etc. You can pause it and read it if you're really interested. And here's where I spend about 30 or 45 minutes wasting my time with SketchUp. The only good thing I got out of that was the size of the foam, which we'll go cut here in a second. All right, let's cut this into size. 4'8" by 5 foot is what we need for final product. Goal is to try and break it. Like sheetrock. You saw that, right? These are full size 4 foot by 8 foot, so I got to add to it. I have an 8-inch piece that'll give me my 4'8" dimension, and then I have to add another little segment there. So this is how we're going to do that. We're going to take these little doodads that I found. It's like a heavy duty, I don't know what it's for. Anyway, heavy duty toothpick, and we're going to cut it like so and spread them out evenly along that 4 foot piece, and poke them in about halfway. About like that. Put a couple on the very end of this piece. And try and get the edge lined up, and then just kind of force it in there like that. Try to get it started, and then just slowly work it in here. And we're going to put a little piece of duct tape on here. Alright, now we'll add a piece down here. This Gorilla tape is substantial. And it's too big to just lift. So I gotta put it off the table and let it float back down here. There we go. And then we just finish the tape off. There we go. Seems fairly sturdy. Just do that again. And we can go out to the kiln. This is where we ended up yesterday. I kind of completely changed it. Thinking just keep it simple. Gonna go down in these little things. And up top, instead of screwing it in, I think I'm just gonna have a little turny bar. Had to adjust placement a couple times, but I think I got it now. Let's see. That's substantially easier than rolling that stuff up. Probably won't survive a hurricane strike, but we'll see. We'll put some lugs on this thing. Remove our 120k ohm jumper we have in here. Alright, struggling a few seconds. We got them nice and snug down good enough. Now we just need to come over here to this one and remove that little piece of copper wire. And just like that, we got it pulled out of there. So at this point, we're About ready to go ahead and push the software. This was, or is, one of the original remote monitor. I was going to set it up to monitor a gate. It's got a motion sensor, a door switch, and a temperature and humidity monitor. But I never did really go too far with that. So I got to disconnect power. Plug it in the PC. I didn't really want to do that with the fans going, but here we go. Now I got to plug it into the PC and push the code. Alright, we're pushing code. Looks like we're done. So I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect it. We'll get all that cleaned up, doors back on, and we'll go inside. It's actually kind of getting hot out here. All right, I'm back inside. I have set the moisture sensors to output data every 30 seconds. We'll go ahead and launch some charts and see what we see real quick. All right, I'm going to work with my good buddy. We're going to line out a game plan on what we should change and monitor. And we'll make those changes and let it sit a little while and see if anything good happens. All right, taking a quick look at our data here, you can tell where I hooked the sensors back up. It's happened right here. And then I came inside and I increased or made it take a reading every 30 seconds. This section over here is reading every 5 minutes, which is the default setting. So then I made the first change ChatGPT asked me to do, which I don't remember what it was, but it didn't make much of a change. And then I decided to kind of start winging it on my own. And here in this section where you can see a bit of a notable change, I increased the samples up to 41 and I discard the first half basically. And that cleaned it up a little bit, but it's not really good enough, unfortunately. And then there toward the very end, probably the last 15 minutes or so worth of data, I increased the settle time to 200. So that means it would basically turn on the voltage going to the analog, going to the voltage divider, and then wait 200 milliseconds and then take the readings. And that made no difference. So unfortunately, we really didn't fix anything with software, and it looks like we're going to have to make some hardware changes. I'll end on a positive note. This right here is where we put the foam in the doors. Let's see if I can, yeah. You don't really see these red ones are when the circulation fan comes on, and it's directly impacting the temperature and humidity, it looks like, which is a good thing. Start looking way back in time, you don't really see that too much. You can kind of see it was doing it, but not as clear as way over here for sure. I mean, that's a pretty big, I think that's a big improvement, and getting the baffling in there might help even more. So that's cool. And looking at temps over the past 14 days, we had a new record today. 40 degrees Celsius is about 104 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if that foam made that difference or it's just a nice sunny day today. That'll do it for this video. Coming up, we're probably going to try some hardware changes. We'll swap out that 2 conductor for some Cat 5 twisted pair. That doesn't work. We'll try putting a 120K resistor right across the probes. See what that does. And if that doesn't do any good, we're going to pull it back into the shop here and add RC filtering at the ADC pin. According to my good buddy, it's supposed to help. So that's where we are.